right, here we go.
Wait, we're not supposed to have a test today?
No, it's not that. All right, you guys are obviously the exception to the rules. All right. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now, again, today I really just have to review with you some of the compound inequalities. But first, before you guys, did anybody have any questions with 1-3 or 1-4 that I need to review? Yes, good for you, Rick. 23. Here we go. Like this right here. All right. So for this guy, the important part is, again, you just learn anytime you have absolute values, you got to have two equations. So this just becomes 3n minus 2 equals 1/2. 3n minus 2 equals negative 1/2. Agreed? So 3n is equal to 5/2, correct? Because 2 is 4/2. And then n is 5/6. Agreed? Multiply by 1/3, right? Right? That's why I say sometimes it's easier just to remember, if you multiply by the reciprocal, then it's easier to see the fractions. You agree? Everybody okay with that being 5/6? Yeah. Then if I add 2, it becomes 3n is equal to 3/2, right? So if I multiply by 1/3, n is equal to 1/2. Agreed? Now, anybody else on this? Anybody else?
X equal 5/6 or 1/2.
Yes. All right. Does everybody understand why 26 is no solution, right?
Minus 10 is negative 1.
All right. Be careful. There's one of those in the quiz. All right. Now, does everybody remember when you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to do what? Switch the sign. Switch the inequality sign. All right. So here we go. So for question number 1, I would want you to look at that and say that z is simply less than or equal to negative 8. Remember, writing in interval notations, I don't care about putting on a number line. All right? You don't do number lines anymore. You're going to write it in interval notation. To write it in interval notation, you always read numbers from left to right. So you would say negative infinity, comma, negative 8, and there was a bracket at negative 8. All right? Is everybody okay with that? All right, so let's say you're clueless, then we'll go back to a number line. Here's negative 8, and here's 8. Less than or equal to is this. All right? So it's all numbers from negative infinity to negative 8. And the reason why it's a bracket is because it includes negative 8. All right? If it was less than, it would be an open circle. And we'll get to those. All right? We have lots more examples. No, actually, it's an idea. Not a number.
So it's a real number. Or not a real number.
It's an imaginary number.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So quickly, if we look at this, subtract 4, that would make it 12. Divide by 3, that would make it 4. So we would say 4 is less than Q, or we would write Q is greater than 4. So if Q is greater than 4, you have an open, and then it's 4 to infinity. Hold on. What would you like me to do?
Switch the inequality sign.
Because why?
Because you're oh no, it's only by negative.
Yes,
right?
you have to multiply or divide by a negative to change the sign. All right? Only. So like look at number 5. So do I switch the sign on number 5? No.
No, because you're dividing by the sign.
Yes, you're dividing by 3, you're not dividing by a negative. So we would say x is greater than or equal to negative 3.
So it'll be bracket.
All right? That's exactly correct.
Why isn't infinity the
You listen to what I said. You read numbers from left to right. All right, so all you're doing, looking from left to right. All right, so if you're unsure, that just means you need to write yourself a number line. Here's -3. Here is greater than or equal to -3. Where are we starting at? And we're going to, as opposed to this up here, we're starting at, no, we're not starting at -8. We're starting at -infinity, and we're going to -8. Because you read numbers from left to right.
okay?
Get that? It'll save you a whole bunch of problems if you remember that. Read left to right. Read left to right. All of your answers. Yes.
So only if it's a negative, how do you bracket?
No. The bracket has to do with this. The bracket has to do whether it's equal to or not. All right? So here we go. So everybody, please, can you practice your mental math? I just want the answer. I don't want, I'm expecting everybody in here to mess with your teacher next year when you can just tell them what the answer is. And they're freaking out.
It's 3.
So it's Z. Now be careful, because in order to do this correctly, you have to be careful, because I'm moving the -5 over, so that's -3. Then I divide by negative, which means what? Switch the sign. All right? And it was -9 divided by -3, so that's what? 3. Is everybody good? So then we have what? 3 infinity. Very simple. Yes. Yes. Then you have to switch. I would have done that, like myself, 9, 3Z, right? So 3 like this, right? So it's the same.
Oh,
Yeah. It's on the wrong side. You have to be careful with that. You have to be careful with that. That's why I kind of sometimes I'm doing inequalities, I prefer just to move to the left, right? And just worry about the negative. Yes. But those you don't have to. But you'll see you can make a mistake because 3 is less than Z. Some people don't realize if 3 is less than Z, that means Z is greater. All right. So now here, again, in this case, I would just straight mental math, right? So K is greater than or equal to, I think it's -1, isn't it?
It says negative infinity, -1 bracket.
Hold on a minute. Yeah. Is everybody okay with that so far?
Yeah.
Right? So then we would say we're starting at what? And we're going to infinity, and we include -1.
So if you did a parentheses, that means
It's not included.
What would it be?
So it's everything up to but not including. All right? Grace, what? All right, come on, girl. Come
But
on.
why on number 7 is
Hold up.
Can you go back to where you explained?
Okay. So, again, really, really important. Listen carefully to me now. Super important. You always read numbers from left to right, correct? So think about it this way. If you're greater than, you're going to start at a number and go to infinity. If you're less than, you're going to start at -infinity and go to wherever you started. Does that make sense? Right? Perfectly good. Yes.
If there's a bracket, wall,
Yeah, infinity is never a bracket. All right? Because infinity is not really a number. That's exactly. All right? You can't get to infinity. All right? So here we go. Wow. So let's mental math this. So this is 1. So subtract 4. So m less than or equal to 4. Is that right? Right? Come on now. Listen, on your test, of course, you do what you do is comfortable for you. But right now, I really want you to practice seeing the movement of numbers. All right? And if you're making a mistake, that's okay. But just figure it out in your head how to do that. Bracket, yes, except you want to put the -infinity first. Right? Again, left to right. Left to right. I'm listening. You see what I'm saying, right? So I move the 1 over here. that made it 1m, then I made it 4 over here. Right, and then whenever you reverse the order, remember, you have to switch the sign. All right, so here we go here. Now, 5.78. So y is greater than 34. 3.4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking at that. I was like, how he is.
5.7.
All right. So now,
Yeah, I knew.
all right. So now we got what?
It's only parentheses. So
Parentheses.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, I'm confused. When did I use bracket?
Okay, if it's greater than or equal to, you use a bracket. If it's just
Oh, it has a-
greater than sign, you use both.
And has a little line on the side. Got it.
All right, here we go. Let's just do one of these. 19 more than a number. How do I write that? Is less than 42. I'm trying to figure out this one part. Okay, let's just look at 18, see if you're doing good. So 5 less than is what?
So 6 minus 5.
But wait, just stay with me. 5 less than means minus 5. All right, 5 less than what? 6n. Now here we got to be careful. Is no more than. If you're not more than, you have to be
Less than or equal to.
yeah, less than or equal to. Those are always on standardized tests. 2n. I don't care about solving it now. All right, just being able to write it is the most important thing. Okay with that. Pretty easy. All right, pretty easy. All right. Now here's what caused kids problems. If you remember compound inequalities. All right. So now, again, very, very easy if you were listening to me. All right. For number 1, I would like for you to recognize that, and I would like for you to be able to say that is just x is between what two numbers? So here we go. X, I want to be less than or equal to 5 and greater than or equal to negative 5. All right. That's right. It's equal to. All right. Now, also, I want you to write the interval notation. The interval notation would be negative 5, 5. All right. I want you to write both of those. We'll get to that. What?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have any questions with number 1? Just come on. We're doing well. All right. Let me get to all possibilities. All right. Now, on number 3.
I
What? Go.
Why is okay? So negative 5 is less than or equal to x. Is x what is x represent?
All of these numbers.
Okay, but if say x was
I don't want to say anything more. I have a whole bunch of problems. You'll get it, I promise. All of the possibilities are on there. All right? I just want you to say, yes, I'm good with number 1 right now. All right? So now, number 3 is just a practice to see if you understand. All right? So you're going to write x is perfect. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. So right there is what we have. And it is demonstrating that the brackets, right? The brackets are not there because it's open circles. All right? And then, of course, negative 2.5 to 2.5 is what you'll be doing next year. All right? We're not going to use the number line. All right, here we go. Skip number 5 because that's the same. Skip number 7, that's the same. All right, let's go over here and do this. All right, so here, this is, we can't write it joined. All right, you have to say literally x is less than negative 7.5 or x is greater than 7.5. Well, because you can't be, listen to me, that's a very good question. You can't be less than 7.5 or less than negative 7.5 and also greater than 7.5. Hold on a second, disagree. No, listen to me. That can't be true, right? But over here, This is called an and statement over here because you can be what? Less than 5 and greater than negative 5. That's all there is to that. Nothing difficult about and or. Don't make it hard. Both these are all and statements because you're less than and greater than. Over here, it has to be an or because you can't be in both places at the same time. So it's one or the other. All right? So I don't think anything is difficult there, right? So yeah, this one's the annoying part because it would be negative infinity to negative 7.5. Then we do union, which just means combined with 7.5 to infinity. All right? Those are your answers. Yes, sir. Good.
How do you know that X is smaller than
Because the arrow is going less than. You with me? And then look at 7.5. It's greater. You agree with that, right? All right. Now, again, I'm telling you, this is a great review. All right? A really good review for your entrance exams. All right? All these. All right? Make sure you know what we're talking about. All right. Now let's come down here. All right? Now we're going to graph these. All right? It's still an interval notation probably. All right? But you should be able to look at number 9 real quick and say, what is that? C is greater than what? C is greater than, doesn't matter. C is greater than 2. All right? C is greater than 2 or less than 0. Now, in your mind, you should be able to say, if I'm greater than 2 or less than 0, they're going in what? Opposite directions, right? So negative infinity to 0, union 2 to infinity. And let's just say, hold up, let's say you can't see that. You can't see that. So we graph greater than 2. Here's greater than 2, and here is less than 0. So now we read from what? Left to right. So I know it's from negative infinity to 0 and 2 to infinity. Doing good with that? What?
It says C is less than. It says or C is less than 0. So wouldn't if why I don't see how it's.
It can be either over here or it can be over here. It just can't be here.
So are we trying to find what C is or just trying to find the brackets are what C is? Oh, so okay.
Go.
What's happening if we're going that the one from the negative to the opposite direction? Like why is it going that way? Why is it going from 0 to negative?
Well, because of that's how the numbers occur on the number line. Does that make sense? All right. That's why they set it up that way. All right. And I just think it's simple. Always read left to right. All right. So now number 11, a little bit more difficult. We have to do what? Divide by negative 5, which means I have to do what to the sign? Right. So that's going to be negative 2x, negative 1. Do we agree with that? So that just means x is somewhere between what? Negative 1. Beautiful. And I don't even really care about the graphing. I almost whited them all out. But sometimes it's helpful if you can't see it. Do a number line. All right? All right. Now on 13. Let's mental math this, guys. Come on now. Hold on a minute. 13. Listen. Obviously, it's subtracting 2. All right? So I'm going to put the answer down, and then you figure out how I got the answer. All right? This is 2x. Come on, look up. That's how quick you should be able to do that. All right?
Yeah, I see.
So remember, you're subtracting 2 from all 3, right? Then you're dividing all 3 by what? 3. So that means x is somewhere between what? 2 and 7. So 2, 7, bracket. Beautiful. Everybody's good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, how does this look like? Oh, okay.
Everybody good?
Yeah.
Come on, speak up.
If you in the line, does the circle have to be like
Open. Open at 2, closed at 7, and then boom. All right? But I really don't think I'm going to have you graph any. I just think graphing is beneficial because you can see the answer better. if you use the number line. All right, hopefully you agree with that. All right, now put a star here. All right, the absolute value inequalities. Absolute value inequalities are very similar to the absolute values. You're going to have what? Two solutions. All right, and here's the idea. All right, the idea is this. T, you write it without the absolute value, is greater than or equal to 3. And then you write it less than or equal to -3. All right, now I'm going to explain exactly why that is. All right, I'm going to explain exactly why that is. And I'd like you to look up here for me. Look up. If this is an absolute value number line, try to listen to what I'm saying now so it'll make better sense and you'll be able to remember it. That means all of the answers are going to be what? Positive. So look right here. So technically, if I'm dealing with the absolute value, they're all numbers like that. You agree? All right. So when on the number line, is it greater than or equal to 3? It's greater than or equal to 3 here, which is this. And it's also from here to here. Does everybody agree with that? Because those numbers are what? Those numbers are now positive because we're referring to distance. All right, that's why they're positive. Because absolute value is referring to distance. All right. Now, originally though, on the number line, it wasn't what? It wasn't positive. It was what? Negative. So that's why we did, bless you. That's why we did this negative, and we're going in the other direction. And the other direction is what? Less than. All right. Hopefully you kind of heard what I said there. If it wasn't completely understandable, that's okay. You just have to remember, anytime you do an absolute value inequality, you write the absolute value exactly the way it is, without the absolute value symbols. Then you rewrite it again, and you change the sign quickly.
How would you write that in the
So you would say negative infinity to -3, union 3, infinity. Yes. You got me. You got me. You're right. There's brackets there. Thank you. Again, because they're equal. So that's hush. Shh. All right, Isaac. Tell me now.
Why don't you have brackets for like
Infinity is not. It's an idea. All right. It's not a number.
can't be.
So then, like, what about what proves like -1, you have brackets on
Because they're numbers.
You could, yeah.
You can have a bracket on any number.
Okay.
You never have a bracket on infinity. All right, here we go. All right, so for number 17, -7r is greater than 14. -7r is less than -14. So r is less than -2. R is greater than 2. All right, so you're supposed to visualize that. Less than -2, greater than 2. That's an or statement. So we have from -infinity to -2, union 2 to infinity. Yes, sir.
17, if it said -7r with the 2,
Absolute value.
the absolute values around -7r, they said it was greater than -14.
Yes, so that's going to come up again. When is your absolute value greater than a negative?
Yeah.
Think about it now. When is your absolute value greater than a negative? Always.
Oh, but if it was
Less than.
yeah,
Your absolute value is never less than that. All right, that's on the test. What?
so you took 14 and you switched the sign.
Yeah.
So you were dividing by a negative then.
So I switched the sign.
Yeah. So then why is -7r still negative? Because you divide by a negative. Like, well, okay, why do you want a negative to 14?
Because that's the way you solve an absolute value. You write it the way it is, and then you change the sign and make it negative.
Okay.
So, okay, just like, for example, 19. you write n minus 5 is less than 7. N minus 5 is, shh, that's how you do it.
I understand, like, how to do it. I just don't understand why.
That was my whole presentation
Yeah,
about this number line, girl. So listen, I'm going to say it one more time. Come on now. All right, listen to me. When you're dealing with absolute value, there are no negative numbers. Why? Because it's a distance. Absolute value is a distance. You hear me? So technically, this is not a good number line for absolute value. So this technically should all be positive. So if it's saying when is the absolute value greater than 3, it's greater than or equal to 3 from here and from here. Right? You see what I'm saying? So, but this, come on now, this is going less than. Up here it's what? Greater than. But why do I change it? Because I'm interested in the numbers that are what? Less than now, because the absolute value converted them to what? Positive. Makes sense. All right? Very important. All right? So now let's knock this out right here. So n is less than what? 12. N is greater than what? Negative 2. All right? So now if we're looking at greater than negative 2 and less than 12, hopefully you can visualize they're coming towards each other. All right? So you always, small number to large number. That's how easy that is to figure out. All right? But you're supposed to now, hopefully you can, visualize what I'm saying about the numbers are running towards each other. All right? You've got to be able to see that. All right? If not, put it on a number line and you will be able to see. All right? Now, just a quick little thing in here, because I went over that one with no solution, and I'm glad I did because I think I put one of those to see who was paying attention, all right, on the quiz. Honestly, I want to tell you something. 18? Yes, very good. Thank you very much. So 18, when is the absolute value less than a negative? Never. So the answer is, when is the absolute value? Yes. That's what I said. No solution. All right? Yes. So if this were changed to greater than, then that's what I was thinking. It would be negative infinity to infinity. Is everybody good with that? That means everything, all absolute values are always greater than a negative. Distance is always greater than a negative. All right. Now, before we go on to the SAT stuff, literally, guys, honestly, I'm happy with what you guys are doing for the most part. All I've done, honestly, was I looked at the evens, and I literally wrote most of them from that. All right? So nothing difficult. All right? If you're totally comfortable with these, you have nothing to worry about. All right? Nothing. It's straightforward. All right? Now, if you have any questions, come back at lunch or whenever in the morning, and I'll answer some questions. No calculator tomorrow. All right? Because I want you to practice your fractions and your positives and negatives. All right? Then after tomorrow, calculators are on everything again. All right? Now, I want to do a few of these questions. Where did we leave off at? Oh, I know. Yeah, I was really...
The one that was impossible.
Did... So... Oh. Yeah. We didn't do this one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Did you even look at this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And again, I'm really happy, again, with trying to show you how you can be excellent at standardized test taking. All right? Because one of the most important features, especially when you take the SAT, is you have to be able to cross answers out that you know aren't true. All right? So again, watch how really interesting this question is. All right? So again, the next thing I try to tell you guys, and you guys are good at standardized tests, so I'm just trying to show you how to be better about writing the information down, the data as you see it, especially on this type of problem. All right? You recognize this is question 15, which is at the end of the test, which makes it hard. All right? So let's see what it says here. It says Alan drives an average of 100 miles each week. All right, his car can travel at 25 miles per gallon. So he gets 25 miles per gallon. And Alan would like to reduce his weekly expenditure by $5. All right, so he's got to cut $5 out of his budget. And the cost per gallon is equal to $4 per gallon. Which equation can Alan use to determine how many fewer average miles he should drive each week. Now, they might think they have the answer. Go ahead, Tom.
Mine didn't match up, but I thought it would be 5 that he would take 5.
All I want is an answer, A, B, C, D.
I only
You weren't sure?
found out it wasn't A or B.
Very good. It's not A or B. I'm happy with that. I'm not saying she's right. I'm saying that's a good way to do test-taking strategies. What? You put B. Now, go ahead. Hold up.
I put C.
All right. Very good. Now, listen. Don't be mad. But listen. The thing that before I knew anything about this problem, I was easily able to identify that, honestly, and I don't understand why people are looking at 95. I knew the answer couldn't be A or C.
Because you had to cut.
You're cutting, right, you're cutting $5, right? And 95, I'm not sure where that came into play other than the fact that 100, yeah. So again, it doesn't, so to me, I'm not saying that that's necessarily wrong. I'm just saying in my mind, the 100 miles and the $5 can't even be subtracted from each other because they're not the same units. All right, so I was able to knock that out. Is everybody with me? All right, now I need to cut $5. All right, so it says I'm trying to figure out how many miles, all right, that would equate to. So what do I have here? I have how many miles? So I know I have to cut out $5. So $4. See if you agree with me. $4 would represent how many miles? 25. Now listen to me, please. That's not an easy thing to see, but what I'm telling you is if $4 I can drive 25 miles, I'm trying to figure out how to cut $5 and how that equates to miles. Does everybody agree with that? So that's why in my proportion I said to myself, okay, I want to get the right ratio. So $4 also corresponds to 1 gallon, and 1 gallon converts to what? 25 miles. Does everybody see my logic there, right? So $4 is to what? To 25 miles. Hold on. Does everybody agree with that? Now I need to cut $5. So it's what? $5 over what? Over amount of miles.
Oh, and then you multiply the amount of miles.
Does everybody see what I'm saying up there? Does everybody see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
All right, so hold on one more second. $4, do you agree, equates to 25 miles. I need to cut $5, so that means I'm going to put $5 equates to how many miles? So the correct answer was D, right? Yeah, and again, I don't like that because to me you would be cross-multiplying and dividing, so I didn't really like their equations. All right, that was very sneaky. Very, very sneaky. I know what you got. I know.
Why couldn't you have done 25 over 4 then?
You can. It's totally same. Same proportion. Just like you could said 5 over 4 is equal to m over 25. Well, because again, let me say this too. I think logically, this is not how you figure out the answer. Right? But I'm saying I'm looking at their proportions going, I don't even know how they got these equations, honestly. I have no idea. So what they did in this proportion, like he was saying, is they just took the m and multiplied it over here. All right, that's the answer. All right, I think that's a good thinking question, but not something, that is logical, mathematically is what I think. All right? So here we go. Somebody else now. I don't want to do number 16 if you're all good.
What about algebra?
No, 14 now. 14 is it's an equation. Is algebra 2 exponential growth. You'll get to that. The answer was C. All right, you could have looked at your calculator and said that. All right, here we go. Number 17. Somebody tell me what that is.
Oh,
Oh, hold on. First of all, 16. What was 16?
I know.
I'm telling you. Tell me.
4 hours.
4 hours. That is correct.
And I know it's
Hold on a minute. Does anybody have any questions with that being 4 hours?
Yeah, she only did the lesson.
All I want to know is if you want me to go through the problem, I can. You got it? All right. Number 17, P is equal to, that was basic,
6/5.
6/5.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions with that? Come on. Distribute properly. 2P plus 2 plus 8P minus 8 equals 5P. 5P equals 6.
Are you kidding? That's the easiest
I
thing.
can distribute, but I can't.
Just choose not to. I agree with you. All right, here we go.
I knew this.
Now, this answer is also what?
21/6.
21/6.
Yeah, I ended up getting 2x equals 21/2. I didn't know how you would divide. Then it's 21 divided by 2 over 2, and I didn't know how to.
All right, so does everybody look at this real quick? This fraction is annoying. Does everybody agree? So you can just say literally 2x plus y equals 21. Do you agree with that?
Oh, okay.
And then y equals 2x, so 4x equals 21.
Oh,
Y
okay,
equals
okay, I see
2x.
that.
So x equals 21 over 4.
I did y equals 1.
No, listen, I want the answer, but I'm trying to show you how that right there was a quick, easy way to do that problem. Right? All I did was I substituted in for y, the 2x, and obviously 2x and 2x is 4x. Yes, good. No, I said we haven't. The reason I said we can't do this because I have not taught you an exponential growth. Right? You don't know how to do exponential growth. That's something you study a lot in your Algebra 2 class. All right? If you wanted to know the answer, you can graph it on your calculator, y equals 2 to the x plus 1, and look at it. This literally just right here, that's a symbol for reflecting over the x-axis that we have not done. All right? So here we go. Continue on. All right, I feel like this was a really good problem for those of you guys who are good at fractions. Anybody get this?
Oh, this is where you just cross out the stuff in the factor.
No.
Nobody has an idea on this one.
I have an idea.
What did you get? I want to know if you got the answer. 4. I think you're right, actually. I'm not sure, but let's see. All right, let's look. Look, in order to add the fractions, you have to have a common denominator. True? Now, how did I know it was adding the fractions? Because it says it combines to that. Everybody agree? All right? So those two things are equal. So now I have to add or subtract those two things. So the common denominator, do you agree, is x plus 2 squared? Right? Now, if that's true, do I have to do anything to the first equation or to the first fraction? No, that's just 2x plus 6 minus 2 times, what did I have to do to that fraction? No. Multiply it by x plus 2 because I got to get a common denominator, right? So again, let me make sure you understand that. I had to multiply this by x plus 2, multiply that by x plus 2. Are you agreeing with me? Right? So when we do that now, we distribute 2x plus 6 minus 2x minus 4 over x plus 2 squared. So I was wrong. All right, the answer is not 4, but what? Come on. What's 2x minus 2x, guys?
0.
So what's 6 minus 4? 2 over x plus 2 squared.
Oh,
You agree with me? I thought it was 4. Sorry. It's 2. A is 2. Because this is the same as that.
So you're not squaring the whole thing.
No.
That's 2x plus 6.
You are not. Definitely not.
That's 2x plus 6 1 squared. You can square it.
Oh, wow. Hey, guys. No, listen. I never thought about that. Hey, listen up. Somebody just said something kind of smart for the first time. All right? So listen to Isaac for a second because I was dismissing him so quick, and I'm not. I think you may have even said that too. I just never occurred to me. Look how easy this problem is. Wow, I very rarely have someone show me how to do something better. All right, that's really good. Both of you guys. So listen, what he recognized, I think, hopefully, I'm not speaking, but hopefully this is what you were thinking. I can just square that to get the what? The common denominator. To get the common denominator. So then this becomes 4 over x plus 2 squared. Right? So then it's just So then it's 2x. Oh, no. It does not work.
Where's
It
the
doesn't
2x?
work 2x.
The reason why it doesn't work is
No, I was saying if 2x plus 6 was also squared, if the whole left fraction was squared, then you would just
Yeah, but you can't square the other
yeah.
fraction.
Here, no, that was a big mistake on my part. Listen to me now. So I was wrong. Listen, when you square a fraction, is it equal? Hold on, just 1 second. Is it equal?
No.
So like if I say 1/2 squared, that's still not equal. 1/2 doesn't equal 1/4 anymore. Listen to what I'm saying, because do you understand what I'm saying now, right? But if I multiply 1/2 by 2/2, that fraction is still the same as that. Come on, listen to what I'm saying. You see your mistake now, right? So you can't square a fraction because it doesn't maintain its equality.
Oh,
It doesn't maintain its equality, right?
So
So that's why you can only multiply the top and bottom. All right, now hold up. Last one. I know you're going, but if you miss this one, I'm a failure.
97.
Yeah, if you miss this one, you deserve to fail.
But doesn't that have to add up to 180?
I got that one.
Triangle. I got 97, but I'm like,